Hey, William, I saw some great gift selections at Parr Lumber.
We'll help you nail down your selections next on Garden Time. Welcome to Garden Time. We are out here at Parr Lumber and we are getting excited about Christmas.
Later in the show, I'll be talking with Amber and we'll be showing you some gift ideas for the do-it-yourselfers and gardeners in your family.
Also on the show today, we're going to be showing you some air plants, what they are, and how you maintain them.
But first, some fine foliage.
So it is a real delight for me to be here with Christina Salwitz, and we're going to be talking about her new book called Fine Foliage. And I'll tell you, what a lovely book it is.
Thank you.
So my first question, Christina, was probably be, why this? Why a foliage plant?
Well, it's interesting because where Karen Chapman, my co-author, and I live up in Seattle, we have a very great climate.
Yeah.
And as designers, both of us, you know, everybody wants fluffy, flowery, full, abundant gardens.
Sure.
But the base of that really has to be the backbone of foliage. And that's where we inject all of that riotous color.
Yeah.
Then we can always add flowers on top of that. We're not against flowers. We just want foliage to be more prominent because it makes sense.
It does make sense, and we're surrounded by it in nature anyway. So when I flip through this book, though, I see a unique setup. Tell me, what was the mindset for how you put this together?
We came up with the most beautiful format for this book, and we're so proud of that. We designed it so that the primary page has this beautiful, juicy photo.
It really does.
And then you get detailed thumbnail photos of the plants that are in addition or all part of that big photo. So you're getting this big, juicy idea that you can really kind of ruminate on and dream about, and more importantly, springboard from.
Sure.
And that's what we want. We wrote it for the everyday gardener to really have fun with and get ideas from and take ideas and make their own.
And you know, I love that you're local, and because you're from the Seattle area, but what about other climates, colder climates? How would they use this book?
Well, the book is doing phenomenally well in the UK.
Wonderful.
So we're really pleased about that. But we have ideas stretching all the way to Florida, to more arid, dry climates.
Nice.
So we kind of covered the gamut. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. We tried really hard not to make it too Northwest-centric.
Well, and you also won a great award recently for it, haven't you?
We did.
Nice.
We're super excited. It's kind of like winning an Oscar for garden writing. It's the gold medal from the Garden Writers Association. And we are over the moon thrilled about this award. It's very exciting.
So where can people pick this up at?
They can certainly pick it up at any good local bookstore, the big bookstores, and Amazon.
Okay.
Fairly easy to find, but we do have a website for the book. It's finefoliage.com.
Okay.
And then we have a beautiful blog that supports the book, and we put out juicy new information every single week.
So, you know, I love this book. It's got just a ton of good information. You can certainly go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to the website. You can buy this book and start the journey of creating a beautiful garden and beautiful containers in your own yard. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
If you build it right. Build it to last. Don't just build it for yourself. Build it for the next generation. Build it with Parr Lumber. And keep building the Great Northwest.
Parr's deck sale is going on now with great deals on TimberTech and Trex, accent lighting, Baselite and accessories, fire pits, waterfalls, and more. Visit Parr.com for details.
Now's the time. Standard TV and appliance Black Friday deals going on now.
Huge price cuts on top brand appliances, mattresses, and HDTVs. Save big on a Samsung front load washer, only $4.79. Get a Whirlpool stainless steel French door, only $9.99. A Samsung 60-inch HDTV for only $6.99. Plus, get our lowest price ever on a Simmons Queen mattress, only $3.88.
Hurry! Black Friday deals won't last long. Standard TV and appliance.
So I'm out here at Little Prince of Oregon. I'm with Ryan, and we're going to be talking about our plant pick, which is Tillandsias. Now, Ryan, it's a big family with a lot of different plants.
It is. There's hundreds and hundreds of different varieties of Tillandsias, also known as air plants.
Yes.
As for people that might not know the botanical know more as that. But it is a huge family of plants.
Well, and they've become really popular again lately, but I think one of the things that they're intriguing because they're so cool and different, but yet a lot of us still really aren't sure on how we can maintain them to their best. So let's talk about a little bit of the culture of them.
Sure. So air plants or Tillandsias are typically grown in like a rainforest setting. It's where they're grown in large trees out in the woods. So they don't, up in, here in the Northwest, they're not going to be hardy outside. They're not going to be growing on your oak tree down the street kind of thing.
Lichens will cover that for us.
We have our own versions. But so they are a tropical plant. And they are used for indoor purposes.
So when they're growing, then we hear a lot of times you just mist them. All you have to do is mist them. Does that come because they're up in trees and they get tropical rains daily?
Right. So they like the humidity. They like the moisture. They like to they need to be watered because they are a plant.
Yeah.
They're just not grown in soil and do not require soil to grow in.
And when you do water them, is just spraying them right on top the best way to go?
I mean, there's a couple different routes. Some people will just mist them with, take a little thing and squirt a little water on them, which is probably not enough water over the long period of time. The best would be probably to take the plant and about once a week, submerge it in a bucket of water and let it sit there and soak it all up and rehydrate. You can leave it in there a half hour. Some people have done it, overnight. You just don't want it sitting in water all the time because it does need to dry out.
I noticed on this one in your hand, you've got some roots on it, but those really aren't that important.
Right, so they will grow a root like this, but the purpose of the root on the air plants is not for sucking in water.
Okay.
So these are, since they're growing in a tree, they send out a root to attach themselves to the tree to basically hold them in for support. It's not for the sucking up the water. They're going to take on the water generally through the foliage.
Okay.
And that's where the misting or submerging them will help that out.
Well, and I have to say, with all of them that I see, I don't see a lot of blooms. On this right here, though, I see 1, 2, there's one here, and then one here is even budding.
This is a bud coming on those.
So is that unusual?
No, a lot of them will get a flower on them of some sort, but typically you won't see a lot of the flowering. It's maybe like a once a year kind of flowering, and as they get to a certain age. So younger ones might not necessarily bloom until they get older.
Well, now, go ahead.
Yeah, so, once they do get some bloom, but most people are using them for the foliage color and the texture is where you're primarily buying it.
And speaking of the foliage color and texture, I see a lot of different ways that you have displayed these. Let's go over there and start with the trees.
So this was just kind of a fun branch that we found. I think this is a little manzanita branch. We just thought you could stick it in a pot with the soil, just to give it kind of a fun texture. It kind of mimics what it looks like in nature. We strung up, this is Spanish moss, which is actually a living version. This is a living Tillandsia.
Yes.
Tillandsia is a Spanish moss.
Wonderful.
And so this is just another variety of it, which will also need to be watered as well. And so it makes kind of a fun decoration. And we just set these, these are just setting.
Just set them right on there.
Setting right on there. So it makes it easy. You can take them off, soak them in the water, and you just put them back up on the branch when you're done. And then you can change them around.
This looks a little bit more modernistic, though. I like this approach.
It is. This is kind of a fun way to do it. We sell these. It's a little called a satellite, is what we call them. And it's basically got a little screw end on the wall, and just screw it into into plywood. You could screw it into your board on the wall. Yeah. Anything like that. And they just kind of sit in there.
That's really easy.
And so then you can kind of put them up and decorate and they hold a variety of different sizes. And so we just put this on the board just to kind of give you an idea. You can use an old picture frame. You can go right into your plywood or
and speaking of old picture frames, that's almost like what this one is, kind of.
Yeah. So these are just once again just set right down in there. This is designed to either be set on the wall, on the tabletop. It can hang on a wall like a picture, and just kind of a framed art.
And then I see a whole bunch of different options here. It's really pretty. You can pretty much put them anywhere, can't you?
You can. I mean, this is just a little glass bowl. You can go down to a craft store and buy this. Throw some little rocks in there. These are not planted in there.
They're just stuck in there.
Set in there just to kind of give you a little display purposes like that. You could put little seashells and decorate them up with different themes if you wanted to. you know, when you're ready, you know, we mist them or take them and soak them in the water.
So it's really, this is a great idea. If you're thinking, you know, you want something that's easy to take care of, but you want some really cool color or textures, you can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. You can find out who carries these plants and get a selection and some ideas of ones you might want to go pick up at your own garden center that you love shopping at. So thank you so much for all this information, Ron. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Leah.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
I've been a Capital Subaru customer for 15 years, and one of the main reasons is because they treat me well and I want to shop local. The service department is excellent, and I always feel like I'm taken care of here. In fact, they call me now even after I've driven off the lot to remind me to come in and get my car washed. That's service. One of the reasons why I like coming to Capital Subaru, actually, they have the dog area, and I can just walk my dog around the whole area and we can enjoy the outside. I got it my way on the Parkway.
Kick off your holiday season at the Oregon Garden during their Christmas in the Garden celebration. Bring the family and tour the traditional German Christmas market, where nearly 20 vendors will tempt you with unique gifts. Taste holiday foods, listen to festive carolers, and take photos with Santa. Wander the Rediscovery Forest and marvel at the display of 300,000 lights, including the 8-foot-tall leg lamp. Pay only $5 for admission and receive $5 in vouchers to use at any vendor. Create a new holiday tradition at Christmas in the Garden at the Oregon Garden.
It's gift giving time, and I'm at Parr Lumber with Amber. And Amber, you know, for all us do-it-yourselfers out there, or even the home cooks, you have lots of gifts for us. So let's talk about the Traeger right now.
Oh, lots of great stuff. So Traeger barbecues, I mean, they'll barbecue a hot dog, a hamburger, just like a standard barbecue. Great thing is, don't need propane. Digital thermostat will keep you, you know, up to date on what's going on inside, the temperature. Cooks like a convection oven. Most Parr yards will have the Traegers on hand, as well as all the pellets, sausage shakes, rubs, everything you need to make delicious Christmas, Thanksgiving meals, along with just great barbecue.
Lovely. And then I see that you're a duck fan and a beaver fan here. Well, so what else you got for us?
As you know, as most Oregonians, we kind of have a house divided here too as well. So we actually have, you know, our orange and black and our yellow shovels. These shovels are amazing, and again, gardener, do-it-yourself, or homeowner, contractor, you know, anyone likes a good quality tool to work with, and these tools are exceptional. You know, a little bit maybe more in the pricey side, but made in the USA.
They're
so
nice. They're
light.
very light, and so for us girls, it's like I don't have a lot of muscles, but I like to work in my garden, and these are really nice. You're not putting all your pressure just carrying the tools around, so I really like this one.
Well, and anybody, I mean, you save labor, you save that, and you can spend more time on your project.
Definitely.
So less time recuperating.
Yeah. And so you have jackets for us too. I love these, and I think that we have, so for everyone on your list, you have beavers and ducks.
I do, and these are special jackets. Now, we do have a lot of collegiate apparel, so these are not the only styles of jackets and sweaters we have. These ones, though, are a little special, because who doesn't like to get a present with a little something extra?
Oh, look how funny. So when you're sitting there in the rain watching the games, you're even more so for your team.
You are, yes. So those are great.
Well, I'm going to roll this up, but you know, I could put it in the gift bucket here, which is another great idea.
How great is that? How much do you spend on a gift bag every year, you know, with presents and whatnot? But what a great way to gift wrap a present that they can use over and over for really anything.
Definitely, you can always use a bucket in the garden.
Absolutely.
And shoes in the garden. I always have muddy shoes, and they're really hard to clean, so you may as well have a nice waterproof.
Exactly, and again, we offer a couple of different brands. Muck and Chinook are another boot that we offer. These are Bogs. Great boot, breathable.
Nice.
I mean, really, there's nothing to be said for a great pair of footwear. I mean, you can't really, you know, you can't really express how important great footwear is.
I hate having wet feet.
Yes, waterproof, super important, obviously in Oregon, especially this time of year. So,
excellent. And you need a heater because sometimes you're out in the garage doing those projects. So I'd like to stay toasty.
Yeah, and this one's an interesting one because it is an indoor safe propane heater, which you don't see very often, being indoor and propane heated as well. But hand in hand with this, of course, we also want to recommend that you have, just in case, a fire extinguisher, and that's a great gift to give, you know, anyone.
Safety first?
Safety first, exactly.
Definitely. And I know sometimes we have these bad storms and your electric goes off, so you have to have some flashlights in the house or even for working on jobs.
Absolutely, and we are able to offer a lot of different options there. You've got your standard mag light there, and of course it's in the digital camo, which is just, you know, something fun and new to do. This is a clamp style.
Oh, neat. Look at that.
So yeah, you can actually clamp it to a workbench or a box, anything that you're working with, an automobile.
Yeah, very
this
clever.
one is a new one as well. It's kind of an interesting concept. So it actually has bungees attached to it.
So you could attach it to anything.
Yeah, you can wrap
it
around a tree even when you're hunting or you know, doing any kind of outdoor project like that. So that is great.
That is nice. And sharpen your tools. You know, for our gardeners, we're always saying got to sharpen your tools.
Absolutely.
Or if you're a hunter, you need to sharpen all your knives. It's excellent. Really a good thing to have. Good stocking stuffer.
Exactly. Kitchen utensils, anything really works with it.
All right, so some cool pants. I mean, they're not fashionable, but they're really good for you when you're working outside.
Yeah, and actually these ones, I mean, honestly, I think they're a little bit more fashionable than probably the work pants you've seen in the past.
Definitely.
And they're, you know, Kevlar enforced knee pads in these, and there's also some short styles. Ooh. We can even get a kilt in this, I think. So, you know, it's kind of for anyone. You can find the style that fits anyone on your list.
Well, it's good for protection too. And then power tools. It's always nice. I mean, there's someone on your list that needs a new power tool.
I mean, honestly, there really isn't any limit to what people would want. My mom, in particular, she uses this little beauty here.
Nice
to actually blow off her kitchen counter and under her kitchen table. You'd be surprised what people can find they can use these for. So, and then, of course, we have the 6.5, which is more of a do-it-yourself or more, and it's battery operated, so it's a lot easier to use.
Sure.
But then we also have, you know, the 7.25, the big mag skill saws for, you know, somebody who uses it a lot more often.
Right.
But really, I mean, who doesn't need a toolbox at home, and who doesn't enjoy getting a good power tool and finding projects to do if they don't have any currently?
And so we have something for the kids?
Well, I suppose if you trust your kids to barbecue that early, but it's actually like a camping barbecue or a tailgater barbecue would be great since, you know, there's so much collegiate stuff right now and we're in that season. This one is a Green Mountain. It's another brand of smoker.
That's a nice one.
Absolutely. They're both amazing grills, the grills that we offer. This one actually has some Wi-Fi remote capabilities, so that's kind of high-tech and interesting. And again, a new gadget, a barbecue, who doesn't love that?
Oh, well, Merry Christmas for that. Well, if you have any other questions or if you need to have some of these things, go to any of the Parr Lumber in your neighborhood and tell them that you need some of these gifts for the people on your list. Amber, great selection. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Is your garden in need of refreshment? Hi, I'm Sarah, and there are plenty of things in bloom at Portland Nursery. Come check out our beautiful fall color to perk up your garden. At Portland Nursery, we consider fall the second season, and the gardening opportunities are endless. Establish next year's trees, replace lettuce and greens, or get a jump on onions and garlic. Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people, on 50th and Stark and 90th and Division, or at portlandnursery.com.
Garden Time is going to Ireland. Join me, William McLenathan, and Judy Alaruso for a tour of the Emerald Isle in July 2015. For more information, go to gardentime.tv and click on the airplane.
The holidays have arrived at Garden Gallery Ironworks. Stop by our store in Hubbard and see the season in a whole new light. We have a wide selection of new and unusual gift ideas. From stocking stuffers and hostess gifts to large decor pieces, we have thousands of items to choose from. And don't forget the outdoors. We have gifts for the gardeners too. We also have a large selection of Kelly Ray Roberts items for you to take home. Give the gift they'll thank you for from Garden Gallery Ironworks.
Well, it's our November segment with Jan McNeilin. And Jan, this is our last segment of the season.
Yeah, well, it's ready for winter.
It is. And so what do we have to do for winter? What's some good tips?
Well, right now, what I need to do here is that there's leaves that come off this Japanese maple and fill this graveled area between the house and this little rock wall. But I don't want it to get too tall, so you want to be able to pull away the leaves away from the bottom of the siding. So you want to have about 3 or 4 at least inches so that the siding isn't touching the ground. It's for just keeping the ventilation right, keeping damp wood termites from being an issue. So I'm going to rake all this out, and then I'll use some of the leaves
for another project.
And winterizing my hoses and dumping or draining those, and then going in the house, leaving all the faucets on, and then go in the house and turn them off and let them drain and make sure your hoses are drained.
Right.
And last year I had a bigger piece of carpet that came all the way up to the top, and I just filled it with leaves. But this year I don't have
idea.
and I have a different idea, and that is literally just to dump this over the top, and hopefully that will work.
Yeah, and then put hoses inside the basement or garage
wherever,
or something.
You know, yeah. They can be out in the freeze as long as they don't have water in them. They're going to be fine.
Right. And then what about leaving seed heads? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, a lot of people want to go through and clean everything up, but just watch and see how many birds you have around, and they're eating the rose hips in our front yard. They're working a lot of the seed heads as well.
So Jan, anything we should do about our outdoor containers that we've enjoyed all year?
Well, if you're going to leave them outside, just get the saucers out from under so that when it rains, they don't sit in water all winter long. And then maybe put them on the south side, your containers on the south side of your house, get a little warmer, get out of the east wind. And if you have any water features, look, if you're going to run it all winter, that's one thing, but if not, you have a pump, and get the pump out and take it out for the winter.
And then getting ready for January, there's really some good tips about taking a Master Gardener's class.
The extension services, sometimes from one county to the other, it varies as to when they hold their classes and how long they are. So if you're interested in taking Master Gardener training through OSU Extension, contact your local extension office and find out when the classes are and get your name in there, because it's happening many places in January.
And you know, if you're really researching anything for next year, really go to the OSU website.
Sure, there's lots of good information.
Yeah. Well, you know, enjoy your garden during this kind of transition into fall and winter, and we'll see you next year with Jan.
All right.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks for everything.
No problem.
Garden Time's Incredible Edibles.
Well, certainly it is that time of year when we are thinking about the holidays and we're thinking about family and friends coming over for great meals. I'm here with Jerry Yost from Gardener's Meats, and nowhere better is it to go than Gardener's Meats to help plan these great meals.
Well, thanks, William. You know, and 55 years in the same location, you know, we've perfected that technique of helping people prepare all the holiday meals, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, Memorial Day, whatever holiday it might be. You know, and in the past for Thanksgiving, we've done the boneless ham that we do down there. We did a half and half one that was half pepper and half sugar. We did the prime rib before. We did the stuffed turkey breast out here before.
So what is it that you have for us this time?
Well, you know what we brought out today, William? And this is just something a little simpler, really simple. It's for it's really intimate. It's just for like a small group. You know, when you think of Thanksgiving, you think of, you know, a big group of people and all, you know, and this is just another option that we have down at Gardener's.
So what exactly are these, Jerry?
Well, what we brought out today was some of our stuffed game hen.
To me, this looks like something that would terrify me to try to cook, but it really is simple, isn't it?
Well, it's really simple, and all I've done here was I used a can of cream of mushroom soup. You can use a can of cream of chicken. A lot of people prefer that. With these, and really whether it's on the Traeger or in the oven, you know, 350 for about an hour covered with foil. What you're really looking for is an internal temperature of about 165 degrees.
And come down to the store, pick these up, and they're very easy to cook.
Real easy to cook. And, you know, we're talking big.
Yes.
You know.
So I'm wondering what's in this one.
And so, again, you know, and this is what we brought out here today was one of our fully cooked smoked turkeys. So all you're really looking to do here, and again, you know, no pop-up timer to look for, so we've made that part really simple and easy. I put a little water in the bottom of the pan, and again, whether it's out here on the Traeger or in the oven, about 10 minutes a pound at 350, and we'll walk you through that down at the shop. We've got stickers and stuff to remind you of how long to prepare them.
So what is the size of this? How much does this weigh?
Well, this one's roughly 22 pounds. Wow. And we suggest about a pound per adult eater. Okay. You know, we have all various sizes, anywhere from 10 pounds up to even 25 pounds.
And you still have fresh turkeys, don't you?
You know, and just for Thanksgiving, every year it's kind of a little thing that we do for our customers. We bring in fresh, natural, unbasted turkeys just the one time a year just for Thanksgiving.
But you know, one of the things right behind you here is a whole host of things that you guys also carry to really complete the meal.
And again, I mean, whether you're having a crown roast from us, we have the rice to go with it. We have all the gravy mixes, some biscuit mixes, all the breads, the garlic bread, even some of our twice bakes go really nice with the game hens.
Yeah. Well, you know, I suspect that this is almost done. So let's get it out, get it inside, and get ready to eat it, shall we?
Yeah.
So Jerry, we brought these great things inside here. Now, I gotta say, these look absolutely delicious.
Well, and you know, the real nice thing about these too, William, is, you know, we've got the twice bakes down there.
Yeah.
We've got the stuffed game hens. You know, you just add one of our 8+ salads to it, and it's a complete meal.
It really is. And I gotta say, this turkey is absolutely beautiful.
Well, yeah, I mean, and as I'm cutting into this, you know, I just want to remind everybody that, you know, we also have, you know, a good selection of all the stuff that we went through, the boneless hams, the bone-in hams, the prime rib, the crown roasts, you know, and the one thing that we do special every year is all natural, unbasted, fresh turkeys.
Yeah.
We have a great selection of those as well.
So Thanksgiving is, for a lot of people, is football as well, and you have something for them as well.
Yeah, and you know, this year it's the 49ers and the Seahawks that are playing, so it's a big draw. And you know, like we had last year, we have the nice football casing, summer sausage pepper jack. It's a really cool novelty. It's a real crowd pleaser, makes the game a lot of fun.
Now, it is too late to call in for Thanksgiving this year, but you want people to come down to the store, right?
Absolutely. You know, and we got a great supply of all the fresh turkeys, all the smoked turkeys. Again, everything that we just went through, we got a great supply and a great staff that'll help you get anything you need for the holidays.
Well, you know, it is that time to celebrate and eat wonderful food. No place better to go than down there at Gardner's and pick up everything you need for your holiday meal. For more information, we always invite you to go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. Thank you so much, Jerry.
William, thank you.
So William, is dinner ready?
Well, let's see here. Yeah, you know, I think it's about ready to go, but then again, Judy, I'm no Jerry Yost.
Well, speaking of dinner, we want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving for you and all your family. For any other questions about today's show, please go to gardentime.tv, and we'll see you next week for our last show of the season.
Garden Time is going to Ireland. Join me, William McLenathan, and Judy Alaruso for a tour of the Emerald Isle in July 2015. For more information, go to gardentime.tv and click on the airplane.
What are you looking for?
Judy, I'm looking for the Garden Time Subaru.
William, it's right behind us.
And you can find it too. It's as easy as going to gardentime.tv.
So click on gardentime.tv and click on the Subaru. Each month the Subaru will be in a different location. Give us your best guess and you could possibly win.
Each month, one lucky person will be chosen from all the correct answers. Prizes can include a gift card to a great nursery, some wonderful tools, or other sweet prizes.
So go to gardentime.tv and help us find the Subaru.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.